Magazine, Game Changers Media Network, Voices of the Village, Supreme, Unisex Barbershop.
Hello, just Supreme's Barbershop.
Just Supreme
Just
Barbershop.
Supreme's. We dropped the unisex about 6 years ago. We used to have a salon in the back, so it was a need to let people know that like we service men and women. But like when we closed the salon part of it, we just went with just Supreme's Barbershop.
Awesome, man. Give me a little background on Supreme Barbershop, how it all started. Looks like you and a group of guys came together and made this one of the hubs of the community.
Well, when we first started, I'm originally from McDonough. Like, we moved back. My grandparents and everybody are from here, but we moved down here when I was in about 3rd grade. So I kind of know the community just from saying I'm from here. But Bill and I met when I was working at another barbershop down the street. I got licensed in 2010, 2011, and I moved back home because I was living downtown in Atlanta at the time. And when I moved down here, I met Bill in another barbershop that I was in. Long story short, man, there's the guy that owned the other shop. He wasn't a favorable guy, and he gave us the motivational push that we needed to go, do our own thing and open another barbershop. And so from that, once I got in, I said that once we get to a place to where we could help people and we would be in a place of empowerment, I didn't want to do things the way that they were done to me. So I said, once we opened the barbershop, I wanted us to be a place where other barbers could come and be comfortable and, make their living, and people in the community could come in and just feel like they were a part of the family. And that's how we got started. We started at 151 Jonesboro Road, probably like, I think we're going on our 11th year. Next March will be 11 years we've been in business. So we started 11 years ago.
Put it down like that. Now, I remember meeting you. Well, I met you before the events happening in the community. You guys throwing the parties and throwing like the celebrations. You guys were very adamant in the community about reaching the youth.
Yeah.
You're in schools. You're hands-on, not just behind the barber chair, but you're actually going into schools, going in the community, serving these youth during, hard times, and those who face adversities. Not only those who face adversity, but those who are just in the community thriving to get to the next level. Tell us about how that implemented into the whole mission that you guys are on.
Well, I think most of it for me now, coming from a personal aspect, me being from here and seeing that kids didn't have a lot of options down here, like especially as being a black young man, they were either trying to push you into sports or something that was related to something around the entertainment industry, sports, music, any of that type of stuff. And when I came down, I was like, I want to do those things, but I want kids to see that you can be a regular, everyday guy, live your life, go to work, learn finance, get some financial literacy, and you could be good in your community too. Because I had got tired of the narrative that was saying that we could only be singers, rappers, or ball players, and that, if that's you, that's cool. And I ain't knocking that for nobody, because that has helped a lot of us change our life. But what about the people who own barbershops? What about like little young Kendall that own 1010 computers? Like, what about you got people that's doing things in the community that's not necessarily entertainment based, but still yet a cornerstone of the community. So with the barbershop, I wanted to push that narrative that like you could be a good person and still make it in life and do things for other people to like I said, each one reach one or reach back or pay it forward.
Absolutely.
That type of idealism.
Okay. Now you mentioned Kendall, 1010 Computers.
Yeah,
that's my guy.
That's my guy. I love Kendall, man. I love what he's doing, man. For him to be, and I don't know what his background is, just from the stuff that I see, that he'll put out there. Okay. To not have the strongest background when it comes to like learning finance, learning how to run a business, just to be a upstart and to do it on your own and to go from where he was to where he is now. I'm very proud of him, because it's not easy to do. Like, consistency is what makes entrepreneurs be great business people. And people don't understand that like you get the rah-rah of working for yourself, but what about the days when it's not fun? Right. What about the days when like I'm coming to the shop full of enthusiasm, but no customers come in.
Oh, wow.
So consistency is the thing that makes great entrepreneurs, great business people. And Kendall he's mastered that, and you know, in a short amount of time, and I'm just so proud of him.
I call him the community genius. You know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
out there, and it kind of goes back to where you're saying we need more. It's not about the basketball players, and I think we preach that message all the time when we go into schools. It's not about being a celebrity. It's not about being a basketball player, football player, and to each his own.
Yeah.
To whoever journey that is, but it's only 1% of people from your community that actually go to that next
That's
level.
going to make it to the highest levels of that entertainment.
Right.
So when we teaching and we telling people to like have a plan to fall back on, now that should be your plan A, because like at the end of the day you're playing the game to get monetary gains from it. But what happens when that doesn't fall through for you? So like the best thing I tell kids, when you're in school, be in school. Yeah. Like don't be concentrating on what's going on 2K. Don't be concentrating on what's going on Fortnite. Just while you're in school, concentrating on being the best student you can, so you can compartmentalize and keep the things at bay, so that when you have to do homework or you have other assignments, it doesn't feel like everything is piling on you at one time, because you're tackling the issues as they come. So just handle school while you're in school, and the rest of everything should fall in line. That's what I try to teach the younger kids anyway.
At ViStar Credit Union, you inspire us to deliver on our promise, to do good for our members and our communities. That's why we offer more banking options, like better rates and no hidden fees. We also give back, donating several $1 million to hundreds of nonprofits each year. Better financial lives, stronger communities. That's our focus. ViStar Credit Union. Do good. Bank better.
Big Chick King Stockbridge is now open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Start your morning off with a selection of biscuits and gravy, grits and eggs, to mouth-watering pancakes with bacon or sausage. It's your choice. Come dine in with us, take it to go carry out, or order online. Big Chick King is dedicated to serving our neighbors, family, and friends with our all-new Southern-style menu and the best fried chicken in South Atlanta Metro. Enjoy that good chicken with home-style cooked macaroni and cheese, mashed potatoes and corn, vegetables, and green beans. Located at 1334 Highway 138 East in Stockbridge, Georgia, next to the Shell Plaza. We're open from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m., Sunday through Saturday. For more information, visit BigChickKing.com. The best fried chicken, hot and fresh out of the kitchen.
Now, many people consider you a local McDonough native.
Yeah.
McDonough, city of McDonough is celebrating 200 years as a city, December 17th. You've seen a lot of phases.
Yeah. Yeah.
You've seen a lot of phases of McDonough, and one, I remember moving to McDonough, and they would say, "Oh boy, don't go down there, boy, that's the good old boy county. You know, you get pulled over, boy, it's over.
Come on vacation, leave on probation."
Come on now, it was the road mark. You know what I mean? And the stereotype, it wasn't no black people in McDonough as far as just Blacksville.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then we had what we call a changing of the guard, like a progression, what many would call progressive, what many would call degression. It really depends on how you look at it. But we had like a transition where we had, I guess you could say, white people in leadership to being a mixed like type leadership with white and black. Tell us about that journey from that process.
Well, I get what you're saying. Like when I moved here in third grade, it was predominantly Caucasian or white people.
Okay.
But not to say that we didn't always have black representation.
Okay.
So like for instance, we just got, for the first time in history, we've had a black mayor, but most of the people that sit on the city council are black. Wow. You know, most of your county commissioners are black, and that's been the way for like forever. Like I'm 43, so we've just gotten people in those figurehead positions to say that, like, hey, the city of McDonough has black representation when it comes to the mayor. We have a black DA. We have our sheriff that's black, but I think that sometimes in pointing out that, we lose the issue in, are they good people? And I'm not saying any of the ones we mentioned are not good people, right. But we get lost in the issues when we mention color first.
Okay.
And so like when we start out, like the only thing I really care about, especially as a businessman, is if you're an elected official, can you do your job?
Wow.
That's the very first thing I care about. Okay. Because like when I was getting a payroll check and I was going in and doing 40 hours and they cut a check at the end of the day, I didn't see the bottom line of, if the streets are clean, does that affect my business? If it's a lot of crime in my area, does that affect my business? Okay. If the citizens that surround my business are not happy, that affects my business. Gotcha. So when it comes to elected officials, I think we've always had representation as far as African Americans, but I think now, because of the way the times have changed, they have more of a voice. Okay. They could be more vocal leaders instead of being in the backgrounds and being behind the scenes and doing the things that they've already been doing anyway. They can now be in the forefront because of the way that times and society moves now, that we can be, uplifted to these positions of power and publicly be, patted on the back for the things that we do.
Correct.
So like I think that the biggest change is having the people, our citizens of McDonough, not just one side of the tracks or this side of the track, the people come together. Right. Like I think one of the most beautiful things I've seen in the last 30 years is when we took the Confederate monument out of the square, and from knowing what it was before that, okay, to riding through the square on a Saturday afternoon or a Saturday night and just see it buzzing with life. And a lot of people said that, well, it doesn't matter, it didn't matter, but that was to them personally. Right. But I can tell you that just from being here a set amount of time, that was a big issue. And I think that we as a community moved past that. Now, it was a lot of tension in the beginning because there's always going to be discomfort with growth. Right. But I think that something that simple galvanized our community. It makes it to where it's better to be on the square on a Saturday night because you see people that look like you and you see people that don't look like you, but the one thing they have in common is they're living life and having a great time.
Wow. Now that's a very important part because recently, I think some civil warrants were passed out to elected officials about the Confederates, that the Sons of Confederate, they're subpoenaing old elected officials to court based on that monument being removed. And you talked about how it was back then, how it made African Americans feel going into the square, because even I remember when I moved out here, like Sands was the only black business in the square, and I'm like, and people was like, oh, you don't go down there, you don't, this is where they hung Negroes and all this kind of stuff, and it's kind of like gotta have a diverse field now. You go down there, eat ice cream, hang out, eat pizza. It's probably one of the most dynamic downtown districts on the South Metro end.
Yeah, definitely. Just from the, like I said again, just from having the diversity, and I don't think that you can go anywhere and predominantly have one set of people and say that it's gonna just be great this way. I think having contrasting ideals, opinions, and values is what makes society great, because iron sharpens iron. And because we don't necessarily agree to see things the same way doesn't mean that we can't all learn from each other and make this the area that we live in a better place to be. Okay. And I think that, like I said back again, I think that it's not that it's never been there. I think that we just get more of a spotlight put on it now because of how things have changed. Now, not to say that people back before us wasn't on the same thing that we were on, but they just weren't able to have a spotlight like how you and I have now. And okay. And I think that moving forward, it'll be even better because the youth, I think in 2020 or was it 2021 when they had the march, when all the youth of Henry County put it together, when they had the march for the police brutality, when they had when they had, and that was all put together by kids. It was peaceful. It was people of all races out there. That gave me promise to say that like the youth of today, they get it. They see, even though we like to say that they're lost and they don't see a lot of things, those kids organized a great rally, and that gave me a lot of hope and promise that like just for my area, I can't say for the world, but for here will be good because they get the gist of how things work and what they can do to like use their voices to make things better. Okay. And that's always great when people want to work.
My name is Jamal Burt, and I'm the owner and CEO of EBO Educational Services. We're a full-service tutoring and test prep company. We do everything from calculus to counting, from phonics to Shakespeare. We also are very big on SAT, ACT prep for college prep, ASVAB testing, and GED testing as well. Whatever has to do academics that you need to get through or get past, we help you through it.
I loved building relationships with students and helping kids just grow, learn that there's more to life than just keeping good grades, but it's about building who you are as a person.
One student to one tutor. We don't have a class or a small group of kids, so undivided attention is given to that one child.
I was a teacher for a while, and I was in the classroom seeing that these kids were not getting as much as they could possibly get, and they weren't learning in a way that was really getting to them and really reaching them. So after I left the classroom, I was actually going to leave education for a while because I got so disenchanted with the system. But I decided that in the meantime, so that I could find something else, let me just put a sign on the corner for tutoring. And the phone started ringing, and here it is 10 years later, and it hasn't stopped ringing since.
Welcome to the all-new Kim Mays State Farm Agency, located at 102 Vincent Avenue in Stockbridge, Georgia, next to the Kroger Plaza on Flippin Road and Hudson Bridge. Recognized by the city of Stockbridge for her community service, Kim specializes in auto, home, and life insurance. We also offer investment and financial planning services, as well as mortgages and refinancing. As an award-winning State Farm agent, Kim's strive is to be one of South Metro Atlanta's leaders in business, with a team of qualified professionals in customer service, sales, and compliance. Covered by Kim continues to lead the way in giving clients quality service to meet their needs. Call us today at 770-282-6622 for your free home, auto, life, or small business insurance quotes. Follow us online at all social media platforms at Covered by Kim, or for more information, visit our website at coveredbykim.com. Are you covered by Kim?
Dynamic. When I moved here in Henry County, Pastor Reverend Lee was one of those prominent figures. You talk about being in the community, kids being ignited, and a lot of kids grew up under Pastor Reverend Lee, whether it was directly in church, whether it was directly being affected by the community. What did you see as a youth? I know Cam Varner talks a lot about Pastor Lee marching in the streets and when civil rights things like happened. What did you see as a youth coming up from, the church being a pillar of the community, connecting with community? How did that look to you?
Well, we grew up like my with church. I think my grandparents belonged to Ferguson Chapel, which was a Baptist church. So like as a youth, church was always in our background, but I think that anybody that grew up in the South and in the Bible Belt line, I think we all had that same story about your grandparents making you go to church, your parents saying that no matter what you did the night before Sunday, you were going to be up and you were going to go to church. But kind of echoing some of the same sentiments that they had, like church, religion, community, that all went hand in hand down here. And I think because we all knew each other, the element of God and family was stronger because at that time it was a smaller community and the people of Blacksville were, we were kind of almost forced to deal with each other because it was almost like we all we got.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so now that McDonough is not just this McDonough anymore, it's this McDonough. It's that McDonough. Everybody has their own version of what McDonough is, but it's definitely not what it was 30 years ago. So I think because we have to get out and try to, if we want to instill those same values, we have to get back to, going back to getting to know our neighbors getting to know the people that's right next to you in your walk. Because like even though like I say we can be different nationalities, we still got the same walk. And I think that having God in my upbringing and being in this community, I think that was one of the biggest things that helped me. Like even to this day, when you're in a dark place, having a personal relationship with God, I think would take people a lot of places that I think being alone or having peer counseling wouldn't do. But that is a great point to make, that most people that grew up here back in the day, we all had that that vacation Bible school, our parents having us in church 8 days a week. We all had that background upbringing, and I think we were better for it.
Right. Tell me about, let's talk about Boys and Girls Club. Then you got not just the Boys and Girls Club, but the Community Life Center. Shiloh has a Community Life Center.
Yes.
Now, it was a huge fight in the community about a Boys and Girls Club being established, right? How long did the city of McDonough go without an actual Boys and Girls Club and without like that type of conglomerate where, you know, we taking it to that level?
Well, we had, I think, Stockbridge, maybe 10, 15 years ago, had a small Boys and Girls Club.
Okay.
But like, as on the level that it is now in McDonough, that was, I said I was 43. That was, yeah, so about that long until we had that kind of interaction. Like, we used to have the, I don't know if what y'all call it, but we used to call it the recreation.
Yeah.
The way you would go to the gym, they would open up the public gyms and you would go shoot basketball, be with the kids from the community. You would like, they had all kind of games and setups. We had that, but we never had an organization like Boys and Girls Club down here.
Wow. So how did that affect the community? That what from a personal aspect? I know how it looked from. I'm not from McDonough, so I couldn't tell you like what happened before and what the dynamic. How did that look for the kids of today that you serve? Because you guys are going like the elementary schools, middle schools. You're actually active and seeing the progression of, you know, the kids of yesterday versus the kids of today.
Oh, well, I think the things that were like, they have the Boys and Girls Club now, but back when we were coming, it was like I say, the rec league basketball, football, baseball teams. Those were the places that you went to, quote unquote, keep you out of trouble.
Right.
Like your parents would involve you in some kind of sports program, and because the sports programs were so big and the coaches were so influential on our lives, a lot of us, that's how we still have friendships that we have to this day, because although we didn't have the Boys and Girls Club, we had coaches, teachers, counselors that would have a lot of one-on-one interactions with us. So like, we didn't have that for say in the community, but we had it in our schools. Our teachers, counselors, peers, they used to pour a lot into the youth.
Right.
So like, we didn't, like I said, we didn't have the building, but we always had that support system going on in the community.
At Eagles Landing Diabetes and Endocrinology, our business is your health. Dr. Ronald S. Watts and his staff are dedicated to the pillars of quality health, such as equity, effectiveness, efficiency, integration, safety, timeliness, and people-centeredness. Eagles Landing Diabetes and Endocrinology specializes in the evaluation and treatment of diabetes and endocrine disorders, thyroid, neck and parathyroid gland ultrasound examinations, and vascular examination for peripheral artery disease are just some of the services that Dr. Ronald S. Watts and his staff provide. Looking for treatment? We are currently accepting new patients. Eagles Landing Diabetes and Endocrinology accepts all major insurance. Give us a call at 770-389-9494 or visit us at 550 Eagles Landing Parkway, Suite 110, Stockbridge, Georgia. Eagles Landing Diabetes and Endocrinology. Our business is your health. Visit us at eldiabetes.org. The Youth Life Center of the Arts is a trailblazing organization dedicated to adolescent care, specifically tailored for youth who are too advanced for daycare but not ready to be left home alone during out-of-school times. We provide performing arts-based programs, innovative learning, and life skills development to help prepare adolescents for the real world. With over 10 years of experience, owner and founder Ms. Clarissa Winston and her team creates a safe environment that empowers youth to find their voice and discover their gifts. Get your child involved today. Follow us on social media at the Youth Life Center to stay connected and get up-to-date info on resources we provide. Call us today at 770-272-5086 or email us at info@theyouthLifeCenter.org to get your child registered for our after-school program. For more information, visit youthlifecenter.org.
Now, you and Mr. Jared Lawrence.
Yeah.
Mr. McDonough, aka Mr. McDonough.
Yeah.
Y'all homeboys. I met y'all together every time. When I do come in here and see me to tell y'all cutting up, man. And outside of the barbershop, you talking about growing up. I think you and Jared actually grew up together.
Yeah.
Right? Say all of y'all.
Yeah, graduated together, grew up together.
All
Yeah.
of that. You know what was it like to see your personal peers step up, like Jared, like Zay, like those people, Michelle Lamar.
Yeah.
Starting SCB TV. I mean, you've seen some of these local journeys from a young man from a young boy to where we are today. What do those local journeys look like to you and giving back to the community and how it has helped with the community is coming full circle?
Well, when it starts with Jared, that's like I said, that'll be one of the guys. Like our parents were very religious, so like I mean. To see Jared Jared's always been that same guy. Still like now the guy you see that crack jokes and like he cares a lot about people. He cares a lot about community. That comes from our upbringing in the church. So like to see him, to see Zay, that like most of all the people you just named, we all work for ourselves in some capacity.
Correct.
And so to see where we came from, like to come from our parents having payroll to us now calling the shots and working for ourselves, it's gratifying, but it's also like they give me a sense of like pride. Like I know like I can directly touch 3 or 4 of my best friends that are out here working and creating their own way, and not just that. They're like Jared is a youth coach that coaches baseball and basketball. He does a lot. And Zay was doing a lot with mentorships and helping people with their businesses. So it's always good to see people that you grew up with thriving. And I've never been one to say like a person is doing better than me, so I don't want to see them do good.
Right.
Anytime somebody from McDonough doing good, I'm proud of them.
Right.
Even if I don't get a chance to tell them, I'm proud of them.
Right.
Because that make us all look better.
and you now one thing that I liked about you and what attracted me to you, Johnny, was the simple fact like I'm a new guy. As soon as we came to the community, Streets of Gentlemen, our organization, you and your business partners embraced us with open arms. I mean, we did things together that just kind of stood out and still touch my heart today. How important is it for you to continue to build relationships throughout the community that affect motivation for change?
It's very important because networking is everything. And what the people can't see is right behind you, we have a small business wall that 50 business cards or better. Each individual has been in this business and touched us in some way, either got a haircut, donated to one of our drives for Thanksgiving or Christmas. It's always good to help the next person that's coming in that line of business. So I think as a community pillar, we as a barbershop try to show that love that we think that other people wouldn't give. So like if you talk to any barber that works in here, we're all different, we all cut different, but that one motto we have when you come in, leave your feelings at the door. That's the very first rule we have at the barbershop.
Yeah.
Leave your feelings at the door, and if you give, we're gonna give you respect, and all we ask for is that you give it to us in return. And I think that goes a long way to help us be in the business 11 years, because every barber that I work with, I consider my brother or my sister. And I know if I needed something, not just if I need a blade or I need a neck strip, but hey man, I need lunch or I need gas, or if it ever came to that, I knew that I could come to them because they not my coworkers, they my family. Okay. And I've worked timelessly and countless amount of hours to build that relationship with them and to have those people in your business, because a business without the people is just mortar, walls, glass. It's the people in your business that make your business. So I think that having these people support me and having them behind me makes me a better JD, so I can go out and I can talk to kids and I can not having to be here to handle whatever said situation is, because they got it and we got each other. So that's just what helps us, push our mission forward, because we got 8, 9, 10 individuals working toward the same cause. So it makes it that much easier.
I'm looking on the wall, Ken Mitchell Award.
Yeah.
Ken Mitchell Awards, Plaza Mentorship Awards. Tell us about the Ken Mitchell Award.
Well, Ken Mitchell is he did a lot for the area of Stockbridge, and so that's why they named the award after him. And we used to donate a lot of school supplies, time, whatever they needed, and so that's how we end up getting that award. And I think one of the principals came in, and his hairline was jacked, and we started, we started cutting up. We started cutting up about that, and I told him that it was a school down here, and I won't mention their names, that we tried to donate school supplies to, and they weren't very receptive to it, and they almost made us feel like we were doing a bad thing. But Stockbridge Elementary embraced us, so we went up there and we started giving them time and school supplies, and they honored us while, I think we won the Ken. It might have been 2 or 3 times we won it. Okay. And it's just based on, I think giving a lot of time and love.
Time and love. Man, yeah. That's what a community needs, time and love, last but not least, when it comes down to connecting community and small business, that's one of your big things.
Yes.
You spoke a lot. I don't care who's in office, none of that. What do you see is the next pillar to connect community and small business to keep this city thriving in the right direction?
Well, I think they're doing a lot better with fixing our infrastructure with the roads. Okay. Except for like the roundabout, because the roundabout tearing them old folks up. You get to now I love that we had them roundabout, but they tearing them old folks up.
Wow.
But like structurally, they getting the infrastructure of the roads fixed. But I think that the events like they do with the Geranium Festival, with the things you guys help out with the Caribbean Festival, like having all those networking events for small businesses to get their names out there, I think is very important, because I think BJ's and Lowe's and Walmart will come in and provide jobs for your people, but small businesses are the backbones of your community. Correct. When people come to look for your culture, correct, they're coming to look for the places. Like when we come to McDonald's, what do we eat? Where do we get our haircut? Right. Where do we go smoke our fine cigars? Where do we get ice cream? Right. So small businesses are the places that build that type of culture to say, like, when I come to McDonald's, I'm going to B&B Soul Food for lunch, or when I'm going out for my drinks at night, I'll go over to the GOAT. Like, it's different businesses and different small businesses that make the culture of your city. So if we don't continue to help build the branding of small business, we'll lose what said culture that we have. So we have to make sure that you and I, the people that have a voice, make sure that when we get an opportunity that we pat a small business on the back, because that's going to continue to push the narrative to make other people want to come and have a part of your culture. It's the small businesses that do that, not the Walmarts and the Targets and those major. Now they provide jobs, but like I said, small businesses provide culture.
Wow. Johnny Daniels, Supreme Barbershop, Game Changers Media Network, Voices of the Village, man. I appreciate you taking the time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Rocking with us today.
Yes, sir. I appreciate the opportunity, man. Thank you for the interview, man. Thank you for, being out here and using your voice to try to better your corner of the woods.
Right.
And like, especially when you down here, like it goes unrecognized, man. But I appreciate everything you do for the community.
Man, let's get it, man. Voices of the Village, Game Changers Media Network, celebrating 200 years, City of McDonald.
Yes, sir.
Justice and peace and equality. Now the world they will see. That's why.